Option D. Next question is, a Lightning component functions in preview mode and needs to be used inside a Lightning app builder page, but it is not available. What change should be applied to the component? Option A. Expose it in the markups using in the implements and access attributes. Option B. Delete the component, metadata, and Apex controller and recreate them. Option C. Refresh the sandbox and upgrade it to the latest API version. Option D. Look for errors in the logic in the JavaScript controller. Correct answer is option A. Next question is, recently a Salesforce organization's integration failed because it exceeded the number of allowed API calls in a 24-hour period. The integration handles a near real-time, complex insertion of data into Salesforce. The flow of data is as follows. The integration looks up contact records with a given email address, and if found, the integration adds a task to the first matching contact it finds. Second, if a match is not found, the integration looks up lead records with a given email address, and if found, the integration adds a task to the first matching lead it finds. Third, if a match is not found, the integration will create a lead and a task for that newly created lead. What is one way in which the integration can stay near real time but not exceed the number of allowed API calls in a 24-hour period? Options are option A. Use the REST API as well as the SOAP API to effectively double the API calls allowed in a 24-hour period. Option B. Create an inbound message that using flow can do all of the logic the integration code was doing. Option C. Write a custom Apex web service that given an email address does all of the logic the integration code was doing. Option D. Create several Apex inbound email handlers to accept calls from the third-party system, thus bypassing the API limits. Correct answer is option D. Next question is, a company wants to build a custom Lightning component that will display a specified account field set and that can only be added to the account record page. Which design resource configuration should be used? See the options. Option A, B, C. And option D. Correct answer is option C. Next question is, a developer created a new trigger that inserts a task when a new lead is created. After deploying to production, an outside integration is periodically reporting errors. Which change should the developer make to ensure the integration is not affected with minimal impact to business logic? Option A. Remove the Apex class from the integration user's profile. Option B. Use the database method with all or none set to false. Option C. Use a try-catch block after the insert statement. Option D. Deactivate the trigger before the integration runs. Correct answer is option C. Next question is, an environment has two Apex triggers, an after update trigger on account and an after update trigger on contact. The account after update trigger fires whenever an account's address is updated, and it updates every associated contact with that address. The contact after update triggers fires on every edit, and it updates every campaign member record related to the contact with the contact's state. Consider the following: a mass update of 200 account records, addresses, where each account has 50 contacts. Each contact has one campaign member. This means there are 10,000 contact records across the accounts and 10,000 campaign member records across the contacts. What will happen when the mass update occurs? Option A. The mass update will fail since the two triggers fire in the same context, thus exceeding the number of records processed by DML statements. Option B. There will be no error since each trigger fires within its own context and each trigger does not exceed the limit of the number of records processed by DML statements. Option C. There will be no error since the limit on the number of records processed by DML statements is 50,000. Option D. The mass update of account address will succeed, but the contact address update will fail due to exceeding number of records processed by DML statements. Correct answer is option B.